Alright, again, for the attention of Mark of the Survival Forum, talking about bows and stuff. We've discussed this before, Mark, and I am one or two others on there. And this is just, we talk about the bundle bows. I made a bundle bow in Finland out of sticks and canes, and I made one out of, later in the week I was there, I made one out of fiberglass tent poles. This is one that, bit of a cheat if you like. It's one of those cheap, shitty fiberglass bows you get for kids, you know, that wouldn't put an arrow in the ground at like 10 paces. They're just like practice garden bows for kids. They're not shitty, they're alright. They get kids started off in archery, you know, which is good. Get to understand the principle of it. But what I've done with this one, as you can see, is I've bundled it with some here. This is 2 lengths of fiberglass tent pole. And further down, a couple of old shitty super fiberglass arrows, carbon arrows that I've knackered, that are no use to me anymore. I can't be arsed refletching them, repointing them and that, so we're just for targeting. And I've bound the handle in the middle with paracord. And you can see the way I've spaced it, like layered it so that it's a bit like a composite bow, you know, in structure. But I mean, it took me like about 25 minutes to do this. The longest part of the work was doing the paracord wrap around the handle. I'll string it up in a minute and take a shot with it. Again, you know, it's not like for like pinpoint accuracy over Olympic distances. You know, what it's actually for is for its purposes, what we discuss all the time. It's more likely to be used in the doorway of your home, or in a projected scenario, you know, in a possible future scenario. It could be used like in the doorway of your home, in the side passage of your home, or in the backyard, from an upstairs window into the front yard, you know. It's good that you all know what I'm talking about, because I fucking don't. So I'll string it up now and take a shot with it. I've actually measured the distance from the back door now. It's teeming down again today. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it's teeming down here, and the garden's waterlogged. I've measured I've stepped out the distance to my target blocks is actually 15 metres. So, get it strung up, have a shot with it. So there it is. It looks like a bow. It feels like a bow under a bit of tension. It feels like it's about 32, 34 pound in the roll, you know, which is more than enough for these sorts of domestic ranges, if you like, domestic distances. You know, you're never going to shoot with that over like Olympic 60-metre distances or anything accurately, but it's not what it's all about. There's a lot of expensive, fancy stuff on the market out there, you know, if you want to do that sort of stuff. But if you think, if your mindset is that it's something you might need to use and put together at short notice, that can be easily fixed and replaced in like any sort of emergency or survival or lawless situation you can think of, it's better to have one of these than not have, you know what I mean? If you've got people coming into your property with predatory intent, whatever country you live in, you know, in a without rule of law or shtf scenario, you don't want to be left just standing there with your dick in your hand, do you? So that's the idea of it. The energy stored in this arc is used to deliver a projectile downrange, and that's what I'm going to try and do now. So bear with me. About 15 metres, because I've moved it to one side. I've got an extra metre on my usual range, so I'm going to do it from just outside the door. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see me properly or not, but give it a go now. Give it another go, because I knocked it against the door when I released, so it's just something you have to be dead careful not to do, you know. That should be proper. Will work. In fact, I'm so impressed with that. I've got a fiberglass rod, like a 2.5 metre fiberglass rod in the garage in my shed there. I'm going to get it out and cut it up and add it to this. Works. Thanks for watching. Pissing down here. Alright, that's the depth to which the arrow's penetrating that double skin insulating thick, high density insulating block there. Now I use them doubled up for a particular reason, because they mimic something quite well, another substance quite well. So read into that what you will. These are you can see that graduated step there, the field tips. Now that's designed to penetrate the target and then to slow down for arrow retrieval during field practice. So with a different sort of head on that, like a broadhead, a slate broadhead or a tin broadhead, whatever, broadhead made from an old teaspoon in an emergency situation, you get quite good penetration with that. So that's the bundle bow of sorts that I've made, which is a bit of a cheat, but it's still a bundle bow. It's still made for like next to nothing. But like what I would recommend you do, go on YouTube and look up John J. Rambo 11111. He made a really good bundle bow out of just 10 poles and paracord, and it was a really good bow. I think it was doing like 47 pound on the tiller by the time he got it finished, and it was giving good power. You know, it was a good bow in itself, and it cost him next to nothing to make it. Everybody's got an old tent lying around somewhere, or knows somebody who's got one they don't use anymore. Use the poles, but be careful with your bindings. You know, caveat is always safety. You've got to be careful with fiberglass. It can pop, it can snap. You know, so just be careful. Make sure your bindings are tight and secure. And I take, see, as you can see what I've done here, I've taped it up. I've used zip ties and I've used paracord, and I know how to knot. My hand wrap is paracord, which is bound and burned at both ends, so that'll never come off. But even if it did, there's always stuff lying around you can fix them with, you know. Thanks for watching.